thanks for being with us here on India Today. You're watching Lunch Break with me, Chaiti Narula. Let's start off with all the headlines this Monday afternoon on India. Anil Deshmukh not to appear before ED today. Former Maharashtra Minister responds to third summon issued by probe agency, says ED yet to provide him case information copy. After writing to Prime Minister Modi, TMC delegation to meet President Kovind at 12:30 p.m. over alleged meeting between Solicitor General Tushar Mehta and Narada accused Shivendu Adhikari. OAC hits out at RSS chief Mohan Bhagwat the day after he called those indulging in lynchings against Hindutva. AIMIM chief says violence killings integral part of Hindutva. Mayawati takes a swipe at Congress while urging centre to take note of Rafale deal controversy, says allegations of corruption in defence deal not new. It has been going on since Congress's time. Prime Minister Modi to address Kovind Global Conclave at 3 p.m. today will share his thoughts as India offers Kovind platform as a digital public good to the world. Karnataka Congress divided on accepting turncoats back. Siddaramaiah strongly against the return of rebels. DK Shivakumar says anyone willing to accept Congress's ideology is welcome. Karnataka and Tamil Nadu at loggerheads over Mekadatu Dam project across Kaveri. Chief Minister Yediyurappa assures water supply for both the states. Stalin objects as protect against the interest of Tamil Nadu farmers. Breaking news coming in. Allies turn foes. BJP and Shiv Sena have set off endless speculation as they've showered praise on each other after Devendra Fadnavis made a statement about how Sena and BJP are not enemies. Shiv Sena has responded. Sanjay Raut has said that BJP and Sena are not India, Pakistan and are not enemies. While ruling out any alliance for the moment, Raut compared BJP-Sena relationship to separated couple Kiran Rao and Amir Khan, saying they're still friends like Amir and Kiran but only have political differences.
मतभेद जरूर है और मैंने भी तो बहुत दिनों से आपके साथ ये बोल रहा हूँ ना कि हम क्या भारत पाकिस्तान है, हिंदुस्तान पाकिस्तान नहीं है, नहीं है। मिलना जुलना होता है, बातचीत होती है, लेकिन अब हमारे रास्ते अलग हो गए हैं पॉलिटिकली। और फडणवीस साहब का भी यही कहना है। आप देखो आमिर खान और किरण राव रास्ते अलग हो गए लेकिन दोस्त है, बोला ना वैसे है ये, रास्ते अलग है लेकिन दोस्ती कायम है, दोस्ती रहेगी राजनीति में। उसका मतलब ये नहीं कि हम सरकार बनाने जा रहे हैं।
Mustafa Sheikh reporting from Mumbai is now joining us for the very latest on this story. Mustafa, one can't really ignore the analogy that Sanjay Raut has come up with that the BJP and Shiv Sena are like Amir Khan and Kiran Rao. Strange but very much friends. The fact of the matter, what he's trying to in fact say is that there is not much animosity between the two, and perhaps and this is a speculation from our end that a future alliance, if cannot be ruled out in case they're talking like that about each other.
Well, of course, unlike the marital divorce, there is anything possible in politics, especially the politics of Maharashtra. It started some other way in 2019. After election results, a three-party government had come to power, and now there are speculations. The speculations are rife due to a lot of things, one of it being the enforcement director pressure on the legislators of Mahavikas Aghadi, which says something which cannot be ignored. The other important points are the statements which are being made from both the sides. So yes, though Sanjay Raut must be saying that the political road of Sena and BJP is different, but one cannot believe unless, you know, time passes by and they really know what has happened. So this is a government in Maharashtra which will always be under pressure, and anything is possible till the 5-year tenure is complete, because the party, the Mahavikas Aghadi has been formed with such a different parties with different ideologies. The other important point which remains for the government of Maharashtra is that how will they tackle the pressure, because there are legislators like Pratap Sarnaik who have written to Uddhav Thackeray saying that they should go with BJP because the harassment and threats of the enforcement directorate and other investigations, be it NCP leaders, be it Shiv Sena results, is rising. We have to see, wait and watch how Maharashtra government deals with this. Back to you.
Absolutely. We'll listen to what Sanjay Raut said once again. Take a look.
मतभेद ज़रूर है, और मैंने भी तो बहुत दिनों से आपके साथ ये बोल रहा हूँ ना कि हम क्या भारत पाकिस्तान है, हिंदुस्तान पाकिस्तान नहीं है ना। ये मिलना जुलना होता है, बातचीत होती है, लेकिन अब हमारे रास्ते अलग हो गए हैं पॉलिटिकली। और फडणवीस साहब का भी यही कहना है। आप देखो आमिर खान और किरण राव, रास्ते अलग हो गए लेकिन दोस्त है। बोला ना, वैसे है ये, रास्ते अलग है लेकिन दोस्ती कायम है। दोस्ती रहेगी राजनीति में। इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि हम सरकार बनाने जा रहे हैं।
Breaking news just coming in at the moment. Deshmukh to request top court for speedy hearing of his plea seeking protection from any coercive action by the Enforcement Directorate. This is coming in after Anil Deshmukh's lawyer informed that the former Maharashtra Home Minister is not going to be appearing before the Enforcement Directorate today. Remember, Deshmukh was summoned by the Enforcement Directorate for the third time today, asking him to appear for questioning in the extortion and money laundering case. Meanwhile, India Today has learnt that ED will oppose Deshmukh's plea in the Supreme Court. Vidya is now joining us live for the latest on this. Vidya, what's going on as far as the Anil Deshmukh saga is concerned? Spate of allegations against him. He skips the ED summons for the third time. He's asked to appear before the ED, and now what is coming in is that he's going to be requesting the Supreme Court for a speedy hearing of his plea, and this is for protection from any coercive action again by the Enforcement Directorate.
Well, that is exactly what he has been seeking, protection from coercive action. Remember, he had filed a similar petition against the CBI action. The CBI had registered a case against him after the Bombay High Court order. So against that, seeking that there should not be any coercive action, he had approached the Bombay High Court. He has not been granted any relief, so to say, as of now. And which is the reason why against this ED action now he is again approached the Supreme Court, where, and he in a letter, 8-page letter that he has given to the ED officials right here, his lawyer Inderpal Singh is inside for the last 1 hour. He has been inside, giving his entire reply to the Enforcement Directorate. In that 8-page reply, Anil Deshmukh has very categorically said that he fears that this entire investigation is not bona fide, it is biased, and which is the reason why he feels that this entire outcome of the Supreme Court order should be waited for, and that's one of the reasons why they are here. The lawyer is inside for the past 1 hour. We're really waiting to see exactly what's going inside, because the Enforcement Directorate has clearly said that they will oppose his plea in the Supreme Court. But what is the plan ahead? Whether they will send him a 4th summon, whether they will really go ahead and take before the Supreme Court hearing, whether they will go ahead for Anil Deshmukh. All this is something that the Enforcement Directorate will be strategizing for the next couple of hours, and we'll really get to know what their step of action, what are they planning to do now.
All right, leave it at that. Thanks so much for joining us with the very latest details right there. Former Maharashtra Home Minister Anil Deshmukh will not appear before the Enforcement Directorate today in connection with the money laundering case. In reply to the Enforcement Directorate, Anil Deshmukh has expressed shock over the depiction of events that had occurred from 25th of June onwards. He said that he is suffering from various comorbidities, including hypertension, and hence will not be able to meet them in person. Deshmukh has also claimed that he had sought the details of the charges against him from the agencies, but did not receive any response or details as yet. Earlier on Sunday, Deshmukh had approached the Supreme Court seeking protection from any coercive action by the central agency in the money laundering case. ED has also summoned former Maharashtra Home Minister's son, Hrishikesh Deshmukh, in connection with this case. A massive political row has erupted over an RTI revelation into Maharashtra government's whopping 155 crore rupees expenditure on publicity campaigns. The BJP is set to corner the Aghadi government in the assembly session over 155 crore rupees being spent on advertisement between December 2019 and March 2021. The Directorate General of Information and Public Relations has informed an RTI activist that the Thackeray government has spent over 9 crores every month on publicity campaigns. BJP leader Devendra Fadnavis slammed the Thackeray government and demanded a proper investigation into this matter.
पैसे नहीं है चिल्लाने वाली महाराष्ट्र की सरकार 155 करोड़ रुपए पब्लिसिटी पर खर्च करती है। पब्लिसिटी किस बात की? खुद की वाहवाह करने की, खुद की पब्लिसिटी करने की बजाय ये यदि पैसे वे अच्छे काम में लगाते, लोगों के हितों में लगाते तो ठीक होता।
The vaccination scam in Mumbai has exploded further after the police discovered that 352 employees of Atomberg Technologies in Navi Mumbai were also a victim of the vaccination scam. Employees of the firm were given the vaccine on 23rd April and the firm paid 4.24 lakh rupees for the jabs. However, the staff did not develop any post-vaccine symptoms and did not get any certification. They were given jabs by the same gang accused in the vaccine racket in Mumbai. Navi Mumbai DCP Suresh Vengade said that the company had come in contact with Manish Tripathi, who has already been arrested by Mumbai police in previous vaccination scams in the city. Navi Mumbai police has filed an FIR, taking the total FIRs filed in the case to 11. Police officials have hinted that more FIRs in the coming days will be filed in the case.
ये एक्यूज पर्सन्स जो है वो ऑलरेडी कांदिवली में एक ऑफेंस में अरेस्टेड है। उनकी ट्रांसफ़र वारंट लेके उनको ट्रांसफ़र किया जाएगा इस ऑफेंस में, और हम पता करेंगे कि इन्होंने वैक्सीन के जगह क्या लोगों को क्या दिया, कौन सा इंजेक्शन दिया, उसमें कोई एक्सपर्ट्स थे या नहीं थे, ये डॉक्टर है या नहीं, ये सारा मटेरियल उन्होंने कहाँ से लाया।
There's breaking news coming in. CBI has registered fresh case to probe alleged irregularities in Gomti River project during Akhilesh Yadav's government in UP. CBI raids several locations as a part of its probe in the riverfront scam. Apart from Lucknow, CBI raids in Noida, Ghaziabad, Bulandshahr, Raebareli and Agra. Raids have been conducted in West Bengal and Rajasthan as well. Remember, CBI registered FIR against 190 people in the riverfront scam. Manish is now joining us. Manish, walk our viewers through the alleged irregularities in the Gomti River project and the CBI's action against it at the moment.
Well, Chaiti, this is the second FIR which has been filed in connection with the Gomti River project. And remember, this project was, tenders were floated, and this project was initiated during the time of Akhilesh Yadav tenure. Now, as far as CBI is concerned, they claim that there was a preliminary investigation in this case, and after going through the evidence collected by the officials, they have lodged an FIR. As of now, 189 accused have been named in this FIR, and a French company has also been named as an accused in the case. There are searches in 42 locations, 40 in Uttar Pradesh, one in Rajasthan, one in Calcutta. Now, this FIR by the Central Bureau of Investigation is the second FIR, because remember, the first FIR in connection with the case was in November 2017. But after going through the evidence, the CBI has now filed a second FIR. This is going to create trouble for Akhilesh Yadav, because Akhilesh Yadav is being implicated, because this project was initiated and it was being completed during the tenure of Akhilesh Yadav. The total amount which the CBI suspects is more than 2,000 crore in the case. Check.
All right, leave it at that. Manish, thanks for the getting us the breaking news on this particular story. Moving on now. Politics has erupted over RSS Chief Mohan Bhagwat's remarks on Hindutva. A day after RSS Chief said that those who indulge in lynchings are against Hindutva, AIMIM Chief Asaduddin Owaisi has now lashed out at Bhagwat over his comment. In his tweet, Owaisi contended that lynching is a product of Hindutva. He further said that these criminals behind lynching are the backbone of the government, as government continues to shield such lying accused. Owaisi also said that violence, murder and cowardice all are a part of Godse's Hindutva ideology. In an event in Ghaziabad, Bhagwat made a unity pitch, saying that if a Hindu says that no Muslim should live here, then the person is not Hindu. Bhagwat further added that people behind lynching in the name of cow are against Hindutva, and as law should go ahead and take its own course.
अगर हिंदू कहते कि यहाँ एक भी मुसलमान नहीं रहना चाहिए तो हिंदू हिंदू नहीं रहेगा। ये विचार मेरा नहीं है, ये विचार संघ की विचारधारा का अंग है, क्योंकि हिंदुस्तान एक राष्ट्र है। हम कहते हैं कि हिंदुस्तान हिंदू राष्ट्र है, गौ माता पूज्य है, लेकिन लिंचिंग करने वाले ये हिंदुत्व के खिलाफ जा रहे हैं, वो आतताई है। कानून के जरिए उनका निपटारा होना चाहिए, क्योंकि ऐसे केसेस बनाए भी जाते हैं तो बोल नहीं सकते आजकल कहाँ सही है कहाँ गलत है, लेकिन कानून को अपना काम करना चाहिए, तहकीकात करनी चाहिए ठीक से, बिना पार्शियलिटी किए सबका न्याय करना चाहिए और दोषी को सजा होनी चाहिए।
इस तरह के गुमराही गैंग के जो दुष्प्रचार थे वो संघ के विचारों को किस तरह से नुकसान पहुंचाओ इस षड्यंत्र और साजिश में लगे रहे हैं। और सार्वजनिक कार्यक्रमों के जरिए ये तमाम जो गुमराही गैंग था, इन गुमराही गैंग ने जो कुछ भी षड्यंत्र, साजिश, पाप और लोगों में के दिलो दिमाग में जहर भरने का खतरनाक काम किया था वो एक्सपोज हो रहा है। उनकी जो हताशा, निराशा है वो इस बात का प्रतीक है कि इनकी जो पूरी की पूरी इस गुमराही गैंग की जो साजिशें, षड्यंत्र हैं वो सामने आ रही हैं।
भारत, हिंदू ये पर्यायवाची शब्द हैं, इनसे किसी को डरने की जरूरत नहीं है। वोट बैंक पॉलिटिक्स से ऊपर उठकर और सबको साथ लेकर चलना और सबने साथ मिलकर चलना, यह देश की सदा जरूरत रही है।
There's breaking news just coming in India today, exclusive on Jammu drone attack probe. Sources indicate RDX and nitrate found in IED. As per FSL report, sources indicate GPS drone used in the attack. Suspicion is now of a Chinese drone. Sources have also indicated NSG's anti-drone effective at Jammu Air Force Station. 2 IEDs dropped by 2 drones. One IED was bigger and it was aimed at infrastructure damage. The other was aimed at personnel with more splinter and ball bearings. That's the big India Today exclusive we're breaking at this point of time. Kamaljeet Sandhu with all the details at the moment. Kamaljeet, the GPS drone used in the attack, sources indicating that the suspicion that it was a Chinese drone. What more are we picking up from the sources?
Sources clearly indicate that there is a Pakistani hand, that there are state actors involved other than the non-state actors which were initially thought to be. The other part is the confirmation of RDX and nitrate-based explosive which was used. This is to cause bigger explosion. There were 2 IEDs and 2 drones which dropped them. One had a payload, each of them for 1.5 kg, but one had more explosives in it, which was meant for an infrastructure damage. That is how you saw that there was a big hole in the cemented area. The other was obviously for a ground impact to have more ball bearings and splinters to cause injury to the personnel. This was a very well-planned one which had a night vision, a GPS-enabled IED carried by a drone. That is how our sources indicate. And also now, the anti-drone technology is something that security forces are strongly working on, whether it is about procurement, and that's in Jammu and Kashmir and the borders in Punjab itself, because now it is a feeling within the forces that the entire area needs to be sanitized and needs to have a counter threat or a counter measure to have this kind of newer strategy which Pakistan has now used. Pakistan is obviously trying to target more such areas, whether it's by weapon dropping, but we've been told that the NSG, which had deployed the anti-drone, did some effective measures. They detected those particular friendly drones which were put around the Air Force Station. Later on, we've been told that BSF has been authorized by MHA to fast-track processing of counter-drone or anti-drone guns, which can be an effective measure to deal with this kind of a threat. So sources telling us many more measures, but remember, this is going to be a mammoth task because the borders are extremely vast, and Pakistan, if they want, with state actors, can pick and choose military installation or other targets. We've seen earlier Fidayeen attacks being done, terrorist attacks being done, but they have upped the ante by use of technology, which now needs to be countered.
All right, leave it at that. Thanks so much, Kamaljeet, for joining us with the very latest details on this story. TMC is in no mood to spare Solicitor General Tushar Mehta over his alleged meet with Shivendu Adhikari on 1st of July. After writing to the Prime Minister seeking his removal, TMC MPs Mahua Moitra and Sukhendu Shekhar Roy are going to be meeting President Ramnath Kovind shortly to complain about Tushar Mehta, who is holding the post of country's second highest law officer. Hitting out at Solicitor General, Mamta's nephew Abhishek Banerjee has said that SG has failed to release the CCTV footage of his house to corroborate his own statement that he did not meet Shivendu. Abhishek even called him BJP's Secretary General and not Solicitor General. On Friday, TMC MPs Derek O'Brien, Mahua Moitra and Sukhendu Shekhar Roy even wrote a letter to the Prime Minister seeking Tushar Mehta's removal, alleging that his meeting with Shivendu is an attempt to influence the Narda scam probe.
नहीं, गवर्नर को हटाने के लिए बहुत कुछ कर लिया वो लोग, अभी सॉलिसिटर जनरल के पीछे पड़े हैं। इससे कुछ होने वाला नहीं है। अब कोई इशू नहीं उनके सामने, चारों तरफ से संकट से घिरे हुए हैं। उनके नेता पकड़े जा रहे हैं फर्जी केस में और कानून व्यवस्था टूट चुकी है, हिंसा चरम पर है यहाँ। और ना तो यस तूफान को संभाल पाए, ना तो कोविड को संभाल पाए। अब लोगों को भ्रमित करने के लिए इस प्रकार सारा इशू को आमदनी किया जा रहा है।
शुभेंदु अधिकारी सॉलिसिटर जनरल से नहीं मिले हैं। दूसरी बात है कि कोई भी राष्ट्रपति से मिल सकता है। हम लोग भी 18 एमपी 18 और 2-3 एमपी और जो 21 एमपी हम लोग भी मिलने वाले हैं। सब राजनीतिक गिमिक है, अपना लज्जा बचाने के लिए कि बंगाल में जिस तरह से महिलाओं का बलात्कार कर रहे हैं, रेप कर रहे हैं, घर लूटे जा रहे हैं, छोटे छोटे बच्चों को मारा जा रहा है, तब इससे अपना चेहरा बचाने के लिए सब नौटंकी है और कुछ नहीं है।
So after Shivendu allegedly met Tushar Mehta, reporters questioned him about his meeting, to which he refused to say anything. Listen into what he had said.
सर, आपने तुषार मेहता से भी मुलाकात की है, जो सॉलिसिटर जनरल?
नहीं, मैं इसमें कोई टिप्पणी नहीं करूँ।
सर, आपने तुषार मेहता से भी मुलाकात की है, जो सॉलिसिटर जनरल?
नहीं, मैं इसमें कोई टिप्पणी नहीं करूँ।
There's breaking news coming in. Former President Pranab Mukherjee's son Abhijit Mukherjee is all set to join the TMC. The former Congress MP from Jangipur has been in talks with the TMC leadership for the last few weeks. He met Abhishek Banerjee in Kolkata last month. Sources say finally a decision has been taken and Mukherjee is likely to be inducted in the party later today. A fresh split in Karnataka Congress has now surfaced after Karnataka Congress chief D.K. Shivakumar defied the statement of former Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah about closing the doors on Congress defectors and said that rebels who left the party can rejoin and party will consider the applications. There was a response to the statement by D.K. Shivakumar. Siddaramaiah said that he will speak to D.K. Shivakumar and is still maintaining the stance that rebels will not be taken back at any cost. The infighting within the party is in other states as well. Rajasthan Congress in charge Ajay Maken is going to be in Jaipur tomorrow to meet MLAs of both Ghelot and Pilot Camp. Meanwhile, a dozen MLAs who are former Chief Minister Huda loyalists will also be meeting General Secretary K.C. Venugopal to demand organizational changes in the state units, whereas the friction between Punjab Chief Minister Amrinder Singh and Navjot Singh Sidhu does continue.